Imagine being on scene of a crime. What do you think they do with all of that evidence? Where do they even start? Well, these are some common questions asked to the law enforcement, which today I will be able to answer for you. One of really the first things they do is take photographs and document the evidence. The reason why they document the evidence is when representing in front of the court, they know the chain of custody. The chain of custody is in which the documentation of who has handled all the samples and everywhere it's been taken to. So the judge knows if it's fair evidence or if it's not against the victim. Then there's others who correctly collect and identify the samples, keeping it in proper containment. Investigators collect a bunch of different types of evidence. For example, some are like footprints, fingerprints, blood, tire tracks, and even bodily fluids found on scene. Lastly, they look at the physical measurements of the property of where the crime scene was. After collecting the evidence, they send it to a forensic laboratory. Or if they don't have expertise in it, they have to send it to an outside analyst in the lab. This is what a laboratory actually kind of looks like. Right there. They use many different equipment like microscopes, tubes to keep the evidence in, and also they will freeze some of the evidence so it can be together. One of the tests that are actually done in the lab are called a presumptive test, which can determine toxins and or drugs, if there's a stain containing bodily fluid, or actually if it's something, they think that something's blood, but it's actually just something as simple as ketchup. This is just one of the many others done. The last thing to know about the laboratory is that tests can take very, very long. They can take maybe just a week up to months. When Michael Jackson died in 2009, it took a whole month just to get his brain tissue test back. Reasons why testing can take so long is technical requirements, limited availability, complexity of drugs or toxic chemicals, and many more of those just being the tip of the iceberg. Finally, you can understand how much work is done by the law enforcement. So now when you're watching your late night television shows about crime, you can understand the real process of collecting all of the evidence and what they actually do with it.